What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. Today's video, we're going to go over our Week 7 power rankings for the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Alright Nick, week 7 is upon us and we've seen quite a few teams jump up the rankings, some fall mightily, and we're going to get to all of those, but why don't you start us off with teams 32 and 31 on our power rankings. Who do we got here?
Yeah, right now at 32, we have the Detroit Lions. You know, they've been competitive in most of their games, but they've definitely had their struggles, and they have not been able to put together a win. The only team that is still winless in the NFL. And then at 31, the Houston Texans. They've had their bright moments. Davis Mills has looked pretty solid at moments, but after this last performance in week 6, they looked abysmal, and the Houston Texans have a long way to go.
Next up, 30 through 21, we have the New York Jets, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New York Giants, the Miami Dolphins, the Atlanta Falcons, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks, the Washington Football Team, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nick, out of all these teams that we see on the screen here, which one surprises you the most? And I think I can figure out which one.
Yeah, I'm looking right at the Miami Dolphins. Brian Flores led Miami Dolphins that are supposed to be one of the top teams in the AFC. They were on the brink of making the playoffs last year. Now sitting at 1-5, they look horrible. They have so much work to do. They get Tua Tagovailoa back, but then they lose to the winless Jaguars. It's an unreal situation right now for the Miami Dolphins. They've got healthy players on one side, but then they lose players on the other. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones being out against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a huge loss, but nonetheless, they should have been able to beat a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have been reeling this season. The Miami Dolphins are in a very bad spot, and I just don't think that they can find their way back at this point. And it really begs the question, is Tua Tagovailoa long for the Miami Dolphins?
That's a question for a different video, and obviously something that I've pondered myself quite a bit. But you'd mentioned the Jacksonville Jaguars, the team that beat the Dolphins, and that's who I want to focus on for a quick second here. The Jacksonville Jaguars have not played overly great all season long, obviously with no wins going into week 6, and then all of a sudden they go to their second home, which is London, and they just come out with a victory over the Dolphins, who were supposed to be the second best team in the AFC East. The Jacksonville Jaguars actually looked really solid. James Robinson was carrying the football with a ton of momentum and speed, hitting holes with violence, just really coming up to the line and really bowling through all of the defense. Now, Trevor Lawrence came in and he was just throwing dots all the way across the football field. You had Marvin Jones, Dan Arnold, and Laviska Shenault. Not great names, not pretty names by any stretch, but he's making it work. And he not only did that in London, but he did it against the Miami Dolphins, who, again, were also down some players, but it doesn't matter. The Jacksonville Jaguars got their first win. I'm really excited for where this team is headed. Hopefully, they can continue to spin up some more wins. They have the Houston Texans. They have the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see if they can get anything going here. All right, 20 through 11, we have the Chicago Bears, the San Francisco 49ers, the Indianapolis Colts, the Carolina Panthers, the New England Patriots, the Tennessee Titans, the Las Vegas Raiders, the New Orleans Saints, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Cleveland Browns at number 11. Nick, out of these teams, which one either shocked you the most or really made you think about moving them up?
Yeah, I've been talking about the Las Vegas Raiders all season and how they're an up and down team, play to their competition until recently. The loss of John Gruden was a good thing for the Las Vegas Raiders, and we saw that against the Denver Broncos. They had a great game, really playing for each other right now, and I think that this is going to continue for the Raiders. I really like them right now. I think they're going to be a dark horse to make the playoffs, but I really like them to be one of the sneaky teams to make it this season.
Absolutely. And, the Raiders obviously have played really well, and their record speaks for it. But a team that came in with a lot more expectations on them was the Cleveland Browns. With the way they have retooled this defense, the offseason acquisitions that they made of Jadeveon Clowney, Troy Hill, John Johnson, Jeremiah Usukormo in the middle of this defense. I mean, we have lauded and praised them for literally doing nothing, just all of the acquisitions that they made. And it just seems like nothing is clicking for them. Sitting at 500 now through 6 weeks, they're 3-3. The offense has been the Achilles heel for this team, apparently. I mean, Myles Garrett's playing really well. Jadeveon Clowney, he doesn't have the numbers, but he's doing a lot of the grunt work. He's getting pressures. He's doing really well. The defense has held up their end of the bargain, but without Nick Chubb, we saw that this offense can't do anything. On top of that, Baker Mayfield now injured. He had the torn labrum. Now he's got a separated shoulder. He's in a lot of pain. Odell Beckham Jr. hurt again. Shocker there. But there's no rapport between those two. The passing game is atrocious. Kareem Hunt can't do it himself. The Browns' offense is just in a terrible spot right now. I think that they have to figure out what their identity is and just stick with that identity instead of trying to force something that they're not. Kevin Stefanski has to get this resolved. The way the Ravens and the Bengals are playing in their division, the Browns are on the brink of being on the outside looking in.
And starting off with the top 10, we have the Kansas City Chiefs making their return to the top 10. A big come from behind victory over the Washington football team. They were down early. Washington defense looks like they might be getting back to their old ways, but the Kansas City Chiefs were able to pull it out. The offense for the Kansas City Chiefs was able to put it together. Patrick Mahomes putting together a stellar performance. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs have a lot of work to do still on both sides of the ball, but they're still one of the most high-powered offenses, and it's going to be one of the hardest offenses to stop in the NFL moving forward. The Chiefs may not be one of the best teams anymore, but they are still a big threat to the rest of the NFL.
Yeah, another high-powered offense, or at least we thought they were. The Los Angeles Chargers are here at number 9 after getting the doors blown off of them by the Baltimore Ravens. They're lucky to still be in the top 10. They put up 49 points against the Cleveland Browns, but then were held in check by the Baltimore Ravens to only scrounge up 6 points. It was a terrible day for the Chargers. I'm going to give this game to them as a throwaway. I believe they're much better than this. I think they just played poorly all the way around. They need to get back together, regroup, and refocus because they had left everything out on the field against the Cleveland Browns. They were still reeling from that. Now it's time to get back to what they know how to do best, and that's win football games.
At number 8, we have the Cincinnati Bengals moving up 2 spots this week. Look, I said that this was going to be a pretty big blowout by the Cincinnati Bengals. I knew this wasn't going to be close, and that's because the Cincinnati Bengals are for real this season. Their defense is stellar. The offense is able to do it. Jamar Chase looking fantastic. Joe Mixon looking great. If this team can stay healthy, the sky's the limit for them, and I think that they could go really far. They're going to push the Baltimore Ravens for that divisional title. I really like where the Bengals stand right now.
At number 7, we have the Green Bay Packers, and what more can you say than Aaron Rodgers, right? We saw exactly what he can will his team to do against a division rival, the Chicago Bears. He owns rookie quarterbacks, and he showed it once again exactly why that is. And, he let the fans have it. The fans were giving him the double bird, and he said, I own you. So at the end of the day, he's probably right. He owns Chicago at this point, and the Packers stay here at number 7 because of it.
At number 6, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who had one of the biggest surprise victories over the Los Angeles Chargers, not only beating them, but absolutely destroying them at home. Made the Chargers look like they did a year ago. Unbelievable how well the Baltimore Ravens are able to play on both sides of the ball. Lamar Jackson didn't even have to do that much. He let the rest of the team do the work, and putting up only 167 yards passing, Lamar Jackson really got to sit back. And With Lamar Jackson not doing that much, that just tells you how scary the rest of the team is. When this team is playing on all cylinders, they might be the hardest team to beat in the NFL.
One of the more scary teams in the NFL comes in at number 5 as we have the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? That's right. The Cowboys went up to Foxborough and just laid the hammer down, but they were definitely met with a great match by the New England Patriots. That Bill Belichick gave everything he had on defense, and Mac Jones was able to take the Cowboys to the brink. But when it's all said and done, Dak Prescott had 445 passing yards, incredible touchdowns to CeeDee Lamb. This offense is for real. They are so potent. They cannot be stopped. It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the football. They stay at number 5, but they could easily be in the top 3 in the coming weeks.
Also staying at their same position, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 4 had a great Thursday night victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles coming back late, and the secondary for the Buccaneers is a bigger issue now more than ever with Richard Sherman now hurt. They are looking to get some other guys in there, but it's still going to be a big problem that the Buccaneers have to deal with. Nonetheless, Tom Brady is on the best pace we've ever seen by a quarterback in NFL history, and that's going to continue to bring them victory over victory, and the Buccaneers really have nothing to worry about for now. They are still one of the best teams in the NFC.
At number 3, we have the Los Angeles Rams, who just beat the brakes off of the New York Giants. I mean, the Giants didn't have a chance. Daniel Jones should have stayed concussed at this point, the way that they were playing. I mean, the offense was so atrociously bad. There's nothing good about the New York Giants. And listen, I know some of you in the comments are Giants fans, so I'm not going to take it easy. I think this team is just absolutely terrible. And the worst part is that they are starting to rebel against Joe Judge. I mean, they do not like the way they're being practiced, the way they're being coached, and still losing football games. So at the end of the day, the New York Giants are reeling. The Los Angeles Rams literally came in, they did their thing, and they walked out. I mean, they just did their thing, so they stay at number 3, and I think they're one of the best teams in football.
At number 2, this might be a little controversial, but the undefeated Arizona Cardinals sit here, and they had a great game against the Cleveland Browns. But the Cleveland Browns were missing a ton of their big offensive weapons, and then Kareem Hunt going down during that game just made it a little bit easier. Nonetheless, without Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray and the rest of the offense knows what they're doing. They can handle themselves, and that's exactly what they did. This is going to be a non-issue for them moving forward. The offense is going to be great, and now with Zach Ertz, I think that this adds another dimension, even more so than when they had Max Williams. So I think this is a bigger threat than anybody expected, and the Arizona Cardinals are the top dog in the NFC right now.
And at number 1, we have the Buffalo Bills, the most complete team in the NFL as it stands right now. They have an offense that can put up 40, and they have a defense that can shut out an opponent at any point in time. This defense is for real. This offense is for real. There's not much more to say. They're playing on Monday Night Football, and this team is going to show the Tennessee Titans exactly why they are the number 1 ranked team on our power rankings. This team can run the football. They can pass the football. They can pass it to a plethora of weapons. It used to be just Stephon Diggs. Now they have Emmanuel Sanders. Dawson Knox has gotten into the mix. They have a lot of players that can come out from the woodwork and really style on another defense. So at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills are just at a point where they are the best team in football, and honestly not even that close.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills are just so strong all around, and they've been lucky. I mean, they're one of the few teams in the NFL that has not been hit with any injuries, or any big injuries at least. And with so much depth on that defense, on that front seven, that's what you need. That's what a lot of teams need to start looking at and replicating, because if you have a strong pass rush, then you're going to have a strong team. That's what really makes everything go around. And with Josh Allen playing at such an elite level, there really is no stopping this team right now.
All right, well, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of our power rankings, which teams we have too high, which teams we have too low, and which teams we have just right. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.